Hi, I'm Colin. I'm here with a new unit that we installed for our clients, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about why our clients wanted to get this installed. Obviously, the summers are getting warmer, and it's pretty obvious with the record heat that we've gotten this summer. And this unit actually had the chance to go through the second heat wave that we had this summer. So the clients just gave us the feedback that besides the excellent work that was done, also the equipment did a good job during that time. So it's been tried and tested and proven that it can do the job during those hot summer days and summer months. So something about this unit that I want to point out, just in case you're wondering what you're looking at, this is an Elite Series Lennox unit. Most manufacturers will have a comparable model in their lineup, and I wouldn't get too hung up on that personally. It's just what's here. It was a good fit for the location. It was the right size for the home. We went through a lengthy discovery process with the homeowner, trying to understand their needs on the front end. And during that visit, we identified their needs and we tried to find the right solution for their home. So this is what we ended up with. I'll give you another answer to a very common question. What goes into this installation? Can I keep my furnace? Do I have to replace my furnace? Is my new furnace compatible with the new AC that I'm going to be getting? So that's a very common question, very reasonable thing to know up front. Depending on the age of the furnace and the type of your furnace, it may or may not be compatible with the new AC. In most cases, if you want to keep your furnace, you can. The only reason you'd want to replace your furnace is, number one, if it's getting close to its life expectancy and you'll have to do it anyway. Because at that point, you'll have the added expense of all the labor and materials required to do so that could be saved up front by doing it up front, and you just pay for the furnace along with the AC, and that would save you probably $2,000 or so in labor and materials. So that may be a good way to go. The other reason you might want to replace your furnace is if you want to get increased efficiency out of your air conditioner. Some air conditioners are not matched with any other furnace except with a certain one or certain few furnaces. And when you get a new furnace with your new AC, you're going to get a higher rated efficiency that's been proven to achieve a certain, SEER level. So that's one reason why. And then obviously, if you want a better furnace with better features, variable speed blowers, better air circulation, better air filtration, it might make sense for you to get that replaced. But if cost upfront is a concern for you, it may not be worth doing that. Keep your furnace if it's got some life left in it, and then find the right AC that's suitable for your home and also fits in with your furnace, and that's possible most of the time. And then another thing that people ask quite often, and it's a bit hard to explain without really showing you, or actually without you hiring us and just having it done. That's the best way to explain it. But I can go into what goes into actually installing the new air conditioner. There is a box which is called the Indoor Coil, and that's the other half of the outdoor unit. And that coil gets mounted in line with your furnace. If your furnace blows up, it goes on top of the furnace. If it blows down, it goes underneath your furnace. If your furnace is in the attic, crawl space, or in any location horizontally mounted, it just goes on the downstream side of your furnace. So that box, it's about half the size of your furnace, has to be mounted in line with your furnace. So you have to cut into your ductwork and make those adjustments, install those transitions to connect everything together. And that's one of the things that can have some limitations due to clearances, to ceiling, floor to ceiling, or width, or things like that. So it takes some work to figure out that correctly. We basically cut into the ductwork, uninstall your furnace, install the coil, reinstall the furnace, reinstall the filter cabinet, and then we hook up the venting, the gas line, the wiring, and then the thermostat wire. And then we run the line sets from the furnace all the way out to the outdoor unit. We do the brazing, pressure testing, leak checking. We pull a vacuum, charge the system with refrigerant according to the manufacturer's specs. Everything gets powered up and tested at the very end. Install the thermostat if applicable, or hook it to the existing thermostat if you want to keep your own thermostat. And then the electrician does their part. They run a new line from the panel to the disconnect, and then from the disconnect to the unit, install a new breaker, and everything gets done usually in one day. Depending on the conditions of your garage, the setup, it might be as long as 2 days. And then the next step after that, which is a very important step, is inspections. The county or the city or the state will have to do the mechanical and electrical inspections, and that's going to be after we are done. If there's any corrections required, obviously we or the electrician has to come back and make those right. Most of the time it passes the first time and you're ready to go. Also, I wanted to point out a few of the very common questions we get about air conditioners, and these are things that our clients ask up front when they're in the middle of their research for air conditioning. And I want to point some things out. You probably have seen a lot about what was done during this video, but just looking back at what took place here, one of the big questions is, where can I put the unit? And there's a lot of questions about that. And ideally, if you care about what's easy as far as low cost of installation and easy for access and serviceability, and also ease of installation, any place close to your garage or close to your furnace or close to your electrical panel, and right here you have the meter, usually directly inside is the electrical panel with all the breakers. So this would be an excellent location for ease of installation. Anything outside of the scope is usually going to be not as easy, but still doable. We can install it almost anywhere. So that's just an answer to that question. And the other thing to keep in mind is the size of the unit. This is a fairly standard size, and this is a fairly standard flower bed or rock bed. In a lot of homes, you don't have this luxury. You may have the neighbor's fence about 5 feet from the house, and this is not enough clearance. And depending on the codes or CCNRs or HOA rules, whatever you're at, this may not be allowed. So it may have to go on a different side of the home, or you may have to get a horizontal discharge unit, which is only about this wide and sticks out about this much. These units and those horizontal discharge units could be mounted on the side of the house on a rack and supported that way. That's a little bit less ideal, because depending on what kind of rooms are close to that environment, there may be vibration transferred through the wall. So that's a quick rundown on the location. I also wanted to point out this speedy channel conduit that we use to cover the line sets, because a lot of people care about the aesthetics of this. And as you can see, there's already a gas meter right here. There's the gas piping. There's the phone and cable and internet coming into the house. There's the electrical coming into the house. So we already have a lot of piping going on. So this is just one more other item which is going to be here, which is this line set. So we try to be as careful as we can with it. It can go exposed on the outside, exposed on the inside, or inside of the wall. Inside of the wall doesn't always work in a finished home, so that's best done if we can cut the wall open, which is not a good solution for a lot of homeowners. So either during your remodel or during new construction. But in a finished home, this is the most common way to do it. And a lot of homeowners actually come back and they paint it with the same color as the body, the trim, or the accent color of the house, and actually it blends in so well that if I didn't point it out, you wouldn't notice it just driving by or walking by. So if that's a concern for you, just rest assured, nobody will know about it except you and I, because we put it in, so we would know about it. If you have any questions and want more detail about what goes into installing a new air conditioner, feel free to call us 360-398-9400 or look us up online. The website is callcleanair.com, and I welcome your questions and comments.